Let's talk about how to keep your car amplifier from overheating. There's a few things that you can do that'll help that problem. Number one, make sure you have a good solid power supply. This is a big one. So when I say that, I mean make sure that you have plenty of battery and alternator to power the system. If you're running a 5,000 watt amplifier and you've only got an AGM, a single or maybe two AGM batteries and a stock alternator, you're not going to be able to power that amplifier. So yeah, it takes power to make power. And you see I have two alternators up here. So here's the thing. You see that ground cable right there? That gray wire right there? All right, that is how the vehicle normally gets its ground from the alternator to the body. So if you're grounded on the body in the back, you're pulling all your power through that wire, but you're also pulling that power through that wire and through the engine block, through the alternator brackets and all the connections there, the bolts into the alternator casing. With my setup, I'm pulling the grounds from right here where the bracket connects to the alternator and then over to a distribution block back to the body on an alt gauge wire. I'm also tying in that connection over there, and I have another connection that goes down and connects to the frame and takes two grounds from the body and the frame straight from the bracket and the casing on the alternator all the way back. So whatever I connect back there, I'm getting a solid ground point. If you were just using the existing ground back there and not doing anything up here, you'd be trying to pull all that power through that little thin wire right there, and all the old connections it's connected to and all the other things that it has to go through. Plus, in the back on the frame, there's a little small ground strap that goes from the frame to the body, because those two are connected with a rubber pad in between them. Therefore, there's not much of a connection there. That one little ground strap is carrying the power from the frame to, it's like, you've got to create your own grounds, and you've got to make them redundant and solid and big and beefy like this, or else you're not going to be able to pull power. No matter how much power cable you run, you're not going to be able to get that power into the amplifier, and you're going to generate heat. You're not going to produce very much power outside. Everything is going to be bad. So you got to get your grounds right, guys. So what happens is your voltage will drop. As your voltage drops, the amplifier will pull more amperage, try to compensate. Because volts times amps equals watts. If your voltage drops, you need more amps to get the same watts. And what happens? Then you're going to pull more power through the amplifier and cause more heat. Number two, this is a long subject. Make sure you have an efficient amplifier, like these guys from Slapz Audio. I haven't had them shut off on me yet, even before I installed this fan system. They're tough, and they do their thing, and they're well designed. A well-designed amplifier is going to have enough pass to move current through it to where they don't tend to turn off whenever they're really getting with it on the power, okay? So we're going back to the power supply. Where can problems be? Well, you can have a problem with the amount of power you're sending to your amplifier. Like I said, batteries, alternator. You could also have problems with the grounds that you're using to get that power there, because the ground is just as important as the positive wire. If you've got a crappy ground, it's going to cause resistance. That resistance is going to cause heat buildup and also lose power. Losing power means more current, blah, blah, blah. It just keeps going. Having good solid grounds that connect back to the battery all the way through the system are going to help prevent heat. Another one is where your power comes into your amplifier. Use all the amplifier's terminals, because this area here conducts a lot of current comes through this part. If you're not giving it enough of a path to travel through, it'll build up heat in the bottom of this amplifier. That will heat up the whole amplifier as well. So residual heat. Making sure that you're getting power from your battery into your amplifier is important. All the connections should be solid and crimped and clean. And these do have heat shrink on them, it's just clear. So heat shrinked, clean, clear, solid lugs, good clean connections, heavy bolts, nice and tight, everything is done up. These are the ways you get shit done. And on your power going into your amplifier, you need to have ferrules on these wires, so that whenever this worm screw clamps down on that cable, it doesn't just push wires out of the way. It's pushing into that ferrule and clamping down on that cable and giving you a solid connection. You have to do that on every single connection. Don't chance out. Don't take the shortcut. If you do, you'll generate heat and you won't generate the power you're looking for. All of these create the bad situations that we do not want. And still, one of the most important components is a good battery connected to your amplifier as close as possible. Like this 10K V1 from Trunked Under Lithium. This battery is a couple years old and still doing the job. It's crazy how much difference a good battery will make. Also, have the amplifier mounted somewhere where it can get some airflow around it. In my case, kind of in a stuffy area over here behind this door, but I have added this fan recently, and that's going to help move the air around a little bit to enable the amplifier to cool better. And again, all of these things are relevant. Another thing to consider is what ohm load you're running in. If you're running your amplifier at its lowest ohm load, say in the case of these guys, they're rated at 1 ohm. But if you're running them at 1 ohm, you're pulling more current through the amplifier, and there's a real good chance that you're going to push it closer to turning itself off. Again, with these Slapz amps, I haven't had them turn off even when I was running them at 1 ohm, doing demos for hours in a parking lot, running full tilt boogie. They're just good amplifiers. And all the rest of my boxes are checked. Good power, all that stuff. But I've got them running at 2 ohms now, so they're even more efficient. When I say efficient, what I mean is the power that your amplifier takes in from the battery and the power that it outputs to the subwoofer. The more of that battery power that you turn into subwoofer power, the more efficient the amplifier is. The amplifier is always going to lose some power, changing it from the DC current from the battery to AC going out to the subwoofers. It's always going to lose some power in that process, and it loses that as heat. And of course, that's bad. But the more the range that you operate the amplifier in is going to determine how much efficiency you have, how little heat you generate. So operating an amplifier, at a ohm load that's a little higher than its minimum ohm load is going to be more efficient, and you're going to turn less power into heat. Again, you're less likely to turn the thing off. There's so many different places where you could go wrong and cause amplifiers to shut down from getting hot. But if you look at all the things I just mentioned, you're probably going to find the one that you're experiencing, or maybe multiples. It may be many things that are piling up, little things that will cause that. If you want a good battery where you can run your amplifier straight to that battery and not have to worry about power so much, if you've got a 5,000 to 10,000 watt amplifier, check out Trunked Under Lithium's 5K V2. And if you've got a 10,000 to 15,000 watt amplifier, check out Trunked Under Lithium's 10K V2. And the links for those are both in the description down below. And you can use my discount code CAE10 to save 10% off the purchase price. Really good deal, and you're going to get a battery that you don't have to worry about. And if you're looking for amplifiers that just don't like to shut off anyway, like these guys here from Slapz Audio, head over to Slapz Audio. Again, that link's down below. and use my discount code CAE to save 10% off of what you buy there. For anything else, head to Big Jeff. I got a discount code there too. And if you're looking for B2 audio, I got a discount code for that. Both of those are CAE. Get her done, man. I'm trying to save you money and keep your amplifier from shutting down. Hopefully you found this helpful, guys. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, slap the like, and most importantly, if you have any tips or any issues where your amp just won't stop turning off, leave the description down below in the comment section. Tell me what you got, what it's doing, and I'll try to help you. As somebody else in the comments may as well. We're a good community, a tight community, and we help each other as much as we can.
Pressure building, rise, jumping, screaming on the phone. Heart pumping, eyes blurring, windows coming down. Nose itching, floor jumping, hurricane the sound. Face machine. Built to pound. Shakes the street. Shakes the ground. No escape. No in between. Feel the load. Feel the force of the bass machine. Panels rattle, doors flex, the roof begins to sway. Power surges, getting hectic, let the music play. Boxes breathing, chords screaming, braced against the frame. Both